Hi guys, so this is the one part 3. So if you have not watched part 1 and part 2, I recommend you watch them. If you watch part 1, if not seen part 2, I recommend you watch them to make you progress in this tutorial or this reading along, right? So the next thing, we've talked about this guy and I hope you understand this. So we have the parent PID, which is always the same, and we have the normal PID, which is different whenever you execute a program, right? Okay, so we have this guy, which is also gonna give us the value of the parent PID, right? So now we have arguments. Argument is something we've done before, argc, argv, right? But I'm just going to have a small revision for those who don't understand when we did it. Okay, and then we have some exercises under it as well. Okay, so the command line arguments are passed. Let me reload this guy so that I'll be able to work with it by the time it's done. Okay, so the command line arguments are passed through the main function. Okay, so command line arguments are just a way of, we execute our signal to shell. Okay, okay, so for example, let's say we want to execute our PID, right? Maximum, we've executed it, right? But what if we want to add let's say we want to add 2 to this guy, right? We can have something that a command line argument that will just say 2, right? We can have something that will even say +2. Okay, and then we are adding it outside um the function we've compiled, right? Or the program we've compiled. Okay, so to add something outside like this, it has to be in a main function and also argv, right? Argc, which is the count and vector. So it says this is the short form of writing them, right? So we have the argument count and argument vector. Okay, so av, which is argument vector, is a null terminated array of string. Okay, so if you have this guy, sorry, oh, what's wrong with this? Okay, if you have this PID, right, and then we have another one, let's say we have two, maybe let's say we have a function like this and we want to say 2 and 3, we want to add 2 and 3 together. Maybe we design something inside this function that will make it accept this 2, make it accept this 3, and then it will give us answers if it is addition 5, right? So this word here, right, it is one argument vector. This is another argument vector, and this is another argument vector, and then we are going to have a null that ends it, right? And then argument count, how many arguments do we have here? 1, 2, 3. We have 3 argument count. Okay, so that's just what argv is. This one is the count of that argument in our command prompt, right? And this one is that argument itself, the vector, right? That string, right? That is why this one is the string, while this one is the number of item, right, in av. So av at index 0, right? So if you have this, look at av, this av, right, at index 0 will be this guy, index 1, index 2, right? So av at index 0 is usually contains the name used to invoke the current program. So it's usually at index 0 is the name of the program, at index 1 is the first argument, right? And at index 2 is the second, as you can see. This one is the name, index 1 is this, that's argument vector, right? Okay, so exercise. So we have this exercise. So I'm just going to run a program that explains this guy, and then we'll go through this exercise, and then we'll end this part, right? And then we'll go to number 1 in the last part of day one, right? We'll go through day number one in the last part of day one. Okay, so we'll stop here for this part, right? So let me first create a program that would help us understand this guy. And then he said, okay, so from the program we'll know why they said we should do this. Write a program that prints all the arguments without using argc. Okay, so normally if you want to write it, right? So let us say we have, let me clear my screen, and let's say ls, right? Okay, so let us say we want to have something that will get a sum from. Let's say we have a program called sum, and then I can pass 2 and 5 to it, 2 and 4, and probably 5, 2, 4, 5 to it, and then it will sum up these numbers for us, right? We can have that at the end of this program, but for now let us just call this guy sum.c. for now. We might not sum right away, but for now let us call it sum.c. Okay, so the system is a bit slow. So because we want to be using the main directly, we have our standard io.h, and then we include, let's just include standard io.h. Any other function, if there's any other function I will include it later on. So we don't need to do documentation because that will waste our time. So we'll have our int main, right? So we can have int argc, argv. So I can do it, let's try the ac because I've not used that before. I used to use argv as to, so then char av, right? I think this is the prototype they used. Yeah, so argument vector. So this is an array of strings. Okay, so so let's say we want to so this program now, right? This program can make it, okay, let me stop for here. Let me stop here right now. Okay, I have not so if we use our old, this guy now, slash pid max. Okay, let's say we do this. Okay, it still worked. I wasn't expecting it to work. Okay, okay, it's still working. So I was expecting it to show us error, right? But it's not taking into consideration all these parameters we gave it after the execution, right? So let me go back to my sum.c. So sum.c, it will give me error because I didn't give it return type. Okay, because it's gonna give me error. So let's go back to sum.c. This video is taking time. Let me just type it myself. Vi sum.c. I don't want it to be too long. Okay, and then we return 0, right? So this small program would allow it to be able to receive arguments. So if I gcc sum.c and the output as sum, okay, it's not sum.c, ls, yes, gcc sum.c, oh sorry, output as sum. Okay, so let's clear ls. So by doing this, sum 5, 6, 7, 8, it's not going to do anything though, but it allows it to be able to receive all these guys, right? Okay, so let us vi our sum.c. and show you that it is receiving it. Okay, so let's say we want to see the number of argument that we pass outside, right? So if I just go here, sorry, if I go here, for example, okay, good. So I'll just say let's say I'll say print f. So let's say print f should print hold on a bit, a second. So I'll say print f our argument count is called argc or ac. Okay, argc or ac is equal to %d, and let us give it a new line, right? %d new line, and then comma argc, okay, or ac, right? Okay, so we have this. I don't know if AC and argc will work together, but let me assume it will. So let's see, print f argument c. So this guy is also argument c normally, right? So I think this is just the short form. So print f, we have this. So we want to know, we want it to print how many argc we have, right? So let me do like that, and then let me compile again. So gcc sum.c, the output sum, right? Okay, so that's what is giving us first using this function. Did you mean AC? Okay, let's just go and change it to AC, but we can use argc normally. That's the normal standard way. Via sum.c AC. I already closed this guy. Okay, so that one worked, and that's sum, and then 756 56, so we are supposed to 34. As you can see, our AC equals to 4, right? So we can have this, our AC is equals to 5, right? So that is that. Let us deal with the argument vector. So vi sum.c is just allowing us, and these guys are receiving those arguments. This one would know that, okay, we have 5 outside. This one would be able to receive those strings that will pass, and then we can use it to do anything in our program by just say this guy, right? So to deal with the other one, let me go to the end of this. Okay, I'll just say print f, and then what do I want to print? I want to print argv, which is av, argument vector, right? Okay, argument vector. So argument vector content is, so we'll have let's see, for this one we're going to have like a loop which will print for us. So argument is let's say argv this, and then let's say new line. Okay, so this one will have a loop. So for the loop, we'll say for I equals to 1, or I equals to 0 rather. So for that, we'll first declare a variable I to run the loop. So we'll say int I, right? Okay, and then we'll give it space. So for I equals to 0, right? So this one is an array normally. It's like this if you are declaring it normally, right? This one is taking double pointer, that's why it's like this. Okay, so argv like this, right? So it's normally it's supposed to be one pointer, and then we'll have our argv like this. So this one is double pointer pointing to this guy. Okay, so we have our int I equals to 0, and then as long as I is less than argc ac. Okay, so if as long as this loop will go, as long as, you know, when we have a, it's not going to be here. So when we have, like, after the main function, right, when we have 1 2 3, our argc will be 3. So it means this loop will go 3 times, right? Or four times rather. So if it is 3, it means that it starts from 0, right? And then ends at 2, but 1 extra for null. Okay, so we'll have that, and then we'll say I equals to 0, I plus plus, right? And then we'll enter this place, and we want to print out what this guy is holding from outside. Okay, let's say we want to print it out, right? So we'll just say argv, sorry, so I'm supposed to have this argv, right? So let's say we want to do it this way, argv, and let's say we want to know the index it's printing. %d is equal to %s, and then a new line, right? And then, okay, let's see what %d would be. %d would be I, right? So argv at index 0, right? What is the string? Okay, so this one will just pass argv I as well. Yes, so we want to print out argv at index 0, argv at index 1, argv at, but this place we will not call it argv because we've called it av, so then we reduce it to av. Okay, at index index 2 3 4 like that. Okay, so print that, and then, okay, so the next thing we're going to do is, do we have a new line? Good. So the next thing we'll do is, let's stop that for now. Okay, so this guy will go as long as this guy is less than the argument count, right? Is it less than? I think it should be less than, as long as 1 is less than 4. Okay, yeah, so let us compile, right? So I'll gcc sum, and the output should be, oh, sorry, gcc sum.c, and the output should be sum, right? So I can execute sum and pass in, let's say, my and then school, and then 789, and then wow, right? So I've passed in 1 2 3 4 5. So our argc, which is ac, will be 5. So the loop will run 5 times, right? And then that array index 0, index 1 will help us print all these times. So this is it. As you can see, our argc or ac is 5. Argument content in av, right? So av at 0 is sum, is this guy, my school, wow. So we can use this stuff to then have a program. So let us have a program that would sum up whatever we add to this guy, and then we'll do the task I was saying. So vi sum.c, right, and then we'll continue with it and say okay, so let us initiate a sum variable here at the top. So okay, sum equals to, so we'll set it at 0 first. Okay, I'm used to the new line guy. All right, so so now since we are dealing with that, okay, so let it still print all this guy, right? Let it still print it, but what we'll do is at the end we'll have our sum to be equal to, or sum plus equal to, so we are saying sum equals to sum plus argv, right, at index I. So what we are telling it is that as v at index I, right, add it to this sum 0. So if at v at index I is 3, add 3 to 0. But because we want to deal with number, we can pass it through an argv function to help us convert it to an integer, right? So we can add that anyway. So that's that. So we are adding whatever it is, and remember we don't want to use the first guy, right, the index 0 argv, which is the name of the program. So we can do that by just saying that okay, we want I to start from 1, right? That's after the program name, right? We want it to start from 1, and then it's going to go until it's less than AC. So if AC is 4, so it's going to go from 1, which is after program name, till that 3, right? And then we'll get that. So we can set a rule for this guy. So this guy will work perfectly though. Okay, so let us gcc sum dash 0, sorry, sum.c, the output should be sum, right? Okay, sum is undeclared first using program. Oh, we are even supposed to make it return sum. I just remember sum dot c, okay, sorry, in sum rather. That's what I wanted to do. In sum, oh sorry, in sum, good. And then at the end you should return, you're not just adding for adding sake, return sum to us. So let us recompile. Let me clear the screen. Okay, good. So let us run sum. So wait, there's something that is not making it okay. So you should return sum, or it should return 0. If it is a function, that's when it will return sum. You should return 0, but you should print out sum for us. So okay, at this point print f sum is %d, right, and then new line, and then comma, and then we want it to print out sum at that place, right, and then this guy will end it. Okay, so it should be like this, and then let let us recompile. Okay, so if we just run it, yes, we are supposed to get this. It's correct, right? So we'll get this, but wait, why is it not printing our this guy? So sum is 0, right? Because we don't have anything. So if we pass in 7 and 4 and 5, right, with this should, yes, this should work, right? It's telling us that our arg at index 1, why it's stopped here, because it's not printing the program name, because I've reduced that guy, the value of the content, right, to I think I need to split the screen so that you can be seeing the code and this guy to explain. Right, so we have that, and then so that it will not print it, because we've set I to be 1, so it's going to start from this guy, right? That's why it printed this guy, and then the sum that it. So this simple program allows us to have stuff in. But if you look at the code, you see that our loop, in order for us to print out the content of argv, we are paying attention to argc, right? Argument count, right? So our task now is that we should print out all the content of argv, right, without using argc, right? They say write a program that prints all the arguments without using argc, right? So that's what we want to do. Okay, so let me clear this guy. I think this video is getting too long. What else ls, right? So let us duplicate our sum. So copy sum dot c and give it no argc rather, right? No arg this dot c, right? So we've done that, and then we'll fill our no argc dot c. Okay, so that's what we want to do. So for example, for now, we don't want to say anything ac, so let me remove it. Let me remove this line, right? Let's remove some. We just want to print out, we'll still have our loop, right? We want to print out all the content of av, right? So we have for I equals to, we can have for I, or let's have a, yeah, let's have a while loop instead. So I will just say while our av, right, is not equal to null. So we will use this, because we know that at the end of that stuff, it ends with a null, right? So we are going to use this guy to print. So we won't be needing, okay, print f, let's see, print, let me remove this guy, sorry. So we'll say print it's not equal to null. Let me remove this guy. Okay, good. So we'll remove this guy, okay, and then we'll remove this guy. Okay, and we can just put this guy here, and then we'll say what is it, av percent. So this guy, I want to print string only, right? So let me say av argument vector is equal to, so I want to print this guy and this guy. We are just printing the content of AV, so I'll just specify AV here. Okay, so and then we'll do like that, and then we'll have our AV plus plus. So this guy, this one would like this would take account of it, but I think here we have to put one since it's double pointer and we just want to iterate through one. Things like this will work. Okay, so basically we have that. So yes, want to print the content of AV, and then why that AV is not equal to null, right? You should print all the content of AV, right? And this one, let's put this pointer one beside it, and this one should have semicolon. Yeah, so we should have it this way. And what else? Okay, let's try it. Okay, so let us gcc no underscore args c.c, and the output should be no AC, right? So we run no AC. If we don't pass any argument, we just have okay, we still have one of this guy, right? So content of AV rather, yes, is this. So if we do like that and then say yes, me, no, right? So it still worked. So we still printed the content without using I is less than AC. So we just use null, right, as the end, showing that there's a null here, right? So that is what that for that. So we'll see in the next. So there's going to be one last part for day one, and you can still read extensively more than that, right? So I'll see you.